Ever since man could ever since man could develop a complex thought, man always asked himself or herself, how did I arrive here and why am I here? To solve these questions, multiple religions have come, multiple political ideologies have come, and they are all trying to solve this problem. We have had secularism in the United States. that's that's not working well. If you know how that country, how much social animosity there is between people within different political spectrums, and there have also come some other extreme ideologies like communism. They have a very good idea, very good plan in mind, but the implementation, when you become critical of it, you realize you cannot produce anything, and the system, if not adapted to a version of economic freedom like the way China does, if you abandon the original hardcore communist ideologies, that's the only way you can make people prosper, when you abandon them. But within the traditional communist ideologies, people suffer. And there's also now the question of the religions. Multiple have come. Most of them, the popular ones, are based on ancient dogma, mostly the Abrahamic ones, and we have ones like Buddhism. Buddhism is too peaceful to survive. It disobeys the rules of nature. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to people who follow Buddhism, but the problem is the nature is a cruel place. It thrives on natural selection. That's how we ended up here as a species. Continuous random mutations and natural selection. And eventually we emerged on this earth as some of the most superior species. I think we are actually the most superior species on this earth in terms of technological development. So that's how, uh, to this point, in a nutshell, how people arrived here. And there's also been governmental approaches. Nationalism, it's like a strata of ideologies fitted within that nation. But still, there is no one successful country. There is no one country that you can say that's the perfect way people should live like. And dogma is dogma. Dogma opposes data, and it is totally unfounded. Whenever you expose it with just a single bit of critical studies, it collapses. But if you want to follow Christianity, you want to follow Buddhism, you want to follow Hinduism, that's okay. Those are peaceful religions, and they do not um, preach. They do not preach extremism, or what do you call this? Intolerance or supremacy or expansionism. Those don't. And then we have the extreme spectrum, the religions that are bad for humanity, those that preach intolerance. That you can categorize Judaism on that level. And also, when you come at a much worse level, you come to intolerance and supremacy and expansionism. Think Islam. So people have tried, and some of these dogmatic religions have been invented by people who are trying to benefit themselves. And it's sad because some people will never know this. Some people will never get the critical education to understand how these things came to be. And also, some, even if they get this critical education, the indoctrination somebody endures through since you are a child, it's very hard for it to leave you. Now, this brings us to our main key issue, our main key talking point of what I wanted to speak about today. What is the way forward? What is the way forward for humanity, for to create coexistence and prosperity between the diverse ethnic and tribal groups? I'm not going to say religious groups because that's impossible. You cannot have coexistence between religious groups. If one group sees itself superior to the other, you cannot you cannot live in peace. For example, uh, you can have coexistence between Christians and others to some degree, or even Christians and Hindus to some degrees, but something that's intolerant like Judaism or Islam, you cannot coexist with others. You want to force or to subjugate others to your ideology. So there's nothing like a coexistence of religions. So what I'm preaching here is we need to have one ideology that caters for the spiritual, economic, political, military, and social infrastructure for people to live in peace, and they prosper alongside their families. They gain enlightenment, technological and spiritual, and also it eradicates all forms of suffering possible. If every strata of human suffering, we try as much as possible to reduce it, and we make people as prosperous as they can be. Yeah, that's basically what I'm preaching here. And what is its name? It's called Gaita. Simple. One way for people to follow and gain fulfillment, fulfillment, fulfill, fulfillment and prosperity. Now, what will we offer? Number one, free healthcare, free education, free social and governmental services, uh, free housing, free utilities, electricity, water, think of them, roads, no taxes. Imagine, no taxes. What else? Food, the basic minimum amount of food somebody needs to live, it should be free. Things like internet, it should be free. Clothing, it should be free. Healthcare, maternal, I've repeated healthcare to insist how important it is. Health, um, maternal care, that's a very important point. And every step of the way, you need to nurture a baby. We need to make sure uh, our children are being nursed, and also social inclusivity. But this does not uh, apply to the general religious status quo. There are specific acceptable religions under Gaita. Number one, I'm going to state just a few of them. Number one, you have Christianity, you have Mormonism, you have Hinduism, you have um, Buddhism. Those are the main ones, and you have atheism, of course. Those are the main ones that are acceptable. The rest, we will coexist with you, but on a temporary truce, not forever, because your books or your doctrines are intolerant. So not everyone is acceptable. Let us get that clear. We can coexist for a certain duration of time, but only as a temporary truce, not a lasting peace. And there must be segregation between the tolerant religious groups and the intolerant religious groups. Another subdivision that is a must, there be uh, majority countries by races, like a white majority country, a black majority country, and I will build and I will lead the only there should be only one black and African people country, and it will be established in Africa, and it will encompass the whole continent of Africa. So that country should, there will be equality of other races, of course, but this is clearly a black people's nation. No immigration should be ever tolerated that affects the demographics, from taking it from a 90% or at most 85% uh, uh, black people's country. The same case for white people's country, Latino people's country, depending on your subdivision, like that, majority countries. So to reduce the conflict, and also there's something else that will be annihilated: uh, corruption on the expenses of citizens, that's death. Tribalism at the expense of, and let us define tribalism in a very simple regard: making your tribe seem superior than others, or you're making another people's tribe look inferior than others. That is what the basic um, qualifications of what we call tribalism. If you are a very popular person, or if you are a leader, and you are kind of teaching something on that line of on that line of tribalism, death will be your answer. And we should create social systems, especially in Africa, that forces people to interact. We should not have like enclaves, like that tribe rules stays there, that tribe stays there. No, we should mix. People should mix in workplaces until we eradicate the tribal barriers and create a homogeneous nation with no tribes, only race and ethnicity. And also the people who are non-black and who will live, for example, in a black people's country, they should try as much as possible to intermarry. When they intermarry, you slowly erase these racial or ethnic differences to reduce conflict. The same should be done in majority countries of a certain race. You absorb and create a homogeneous group. It's good. It reduces animosity and conflict. What else? And also, the jobs will be free and very decent, and per year you'll get even a whole month vacation, a whole month vacation per year. And it can be segregated into multiple strata. If you want 1 week there, 1 week there, 1 week there, like that. And also it might increase uh, based on the economic output of the state. uh, Sanitary services like dumping stuff, we said those are free. Things like diapers should be free, sanitary pads should be free. uh, there will be free trade, very minimal government intervention, and also you'll be given access to high-tech automation systems that you can work as well as run multiple businesses, achieve the maximum prosperity for you. And also a strong military capacity, not only on the African state level, but also all those other nations. In that, you will be able to protect you and your loved ones and your family from internal, external, and international threats wherever threatened. And also, strong defenses will be built, and also satisfactory leadership to let's say strong defenses within the countries to prevent invasion. Yeah, then there'll be strong what do we call them, strong citizen to to lead a framework of interaction, in that we will create a very responsive government and also a very happy populace. All your problems will be solved and listened to within the shortest time possible, if possible 24 hours for the reception of the data, and less than 1 week for implementation of the action. Yeah. And did I say you are going to be rich? Rich, you're going to be rich, not only for the jobs that we offer, but also for the job opportunities that we offer you. Whoever joins us will be part of the richest nation on earth, whichever nation that comes under that commonwealth. If it's the black people's nations or those other nations, we will form, or those governments, because we have to form the government in order to have the nation. You cannot have a nation without the government, and this government should be achieved by all means. And by creating such a responsive framework, we should have uh, a very good state of political stability, that state can last millenniums, thousands and thousands of years. So those are the key points. If there are others, I'm going to surely add them, but this is the maximal potential a human being can reach, and you're going to see it. Those who don't join us, they will stay in their poverty, their misery, and their oppression by those corrupt governments. And those who join us will get access to a very pure political and general system that will give them the ability to protect their families, and also they'll gain the maximum potential prosperity they have ever dreamed of. They are going to earn a lot of money, and also the things that you buy, like cars, phones, whatever, blah blah blah, you name it. And remember, housing is free, but you can also trade houses if you want. Everything is tradable, nothing is fixed. The government will offer you what what is minimum. If you want to add to that, well and good. So I was speaking about the matter of prosperity. Now you are going to see things are super cheap. You earn a lot, but the things are super cheap, and um, the economic environment will be well regulated with no rogue currency or fakeable currency. In that, the people, whatever money you have, it's your money. It will not deflate or be corrupted by people who fake money. And in that, you're going to be rich on the global stage, and people will be jealous of you, and you'll be living the best of life, the best of your life possible. No more suffering, no more pain, no more misery. It's only prosperity. Free everything. Not everything in the literal sense, but I mean, all your basic needs will be free, and you will achieve it. Prosperity. Your prosperity is my goal, and your goal, I will work hard towards it. Yeah, I think that's all. In future videos, we are going to identify detail by detail what we should do to achieve this dream future, this perfect future we want for ourselves. So thank you for listening to me, and see you in the next video.